With the innate ability to sniff out moods and motives from a mile away, INFJs tend to be quite picky with who they surround themselves with. While they may feel obligated to give certain people the benefit of the doubt, they remain cautious to the energies they let in, whether they're intentional or not, especially when it comes to these 8 types of people. Welcome, or welcome back, psychos! Before we get into it, we'd love it if you liked and subscribed to our channel, as well as to click the post notification bell so you never miss a video. Alright, let's jump into it, starting with red flag number 1. People who only pay attention to people that will benefit them. If someone is being fake or just has a fake personality in general, you can bet that the INFJ will notice before anyone else. This is especially true when someone is trying to use fakery to wiggle their way to the top of a specific hierarchy. The best example would be in an office or work setting, also known as the brown nosers or butt kissers for lack of a better word. These are the people that only seem to look like they're doing something when the boss comes around. It's as if they have trained themselves to use fake conversations and relationships to get what they want in life. They don't spend any more time than they need to conversing with people on a lower or equal rank to them because they don't see any benefits in such a connection. In fact, most of these types of people are so used to wasting their time and energy to please the people that would in turn benefit themselves in the long run that they don't even realize they do it. Once an INFJ notices someone like this type of person, they can't unsee it, leaving them no choice but to stay far, far away. Number 2. Extreme people pleasers. Now, we all know that INFJs have certain people-pleasing qualities that come up, especially on an emotional level. They want to ensure everyone is satisfied and on the same page before making any decisions that involve others. However, extreme people pleasers tend to have a totally different motive. Similar to people who only pay attention to those of higher power, these people pleasers don't only try to impress the big guys, they try to impress everyone they cross paths with because it's in their nature to seem more put together than the average person. They will tell anyone what they want to hear to their face, despite thinking the complete opposite, which makes getting to know the real them so difficult. When conversing with this type of extreme people pleaser, it's as if their autopilot replies are just repeats from previous conversations, lacking authenticity and genuinity. Number 3. People who pretend to not be bothered by things. You know the people that just seem overly happy, witty, and satisfied with life? Yeah, it's usually not the case, and INFJs can usually recognize that underlying dissatisfaction they refuse to bring to the surface. This type of person has tendencies of pretending not to be bothered by things that actually bother them a lot. These are the people that claim they hardly ever get mad or frustrated at things, or that they and their spouse never fight. Things that you wish were true, but are just a little hard to believe. Sure, some people have an uncanny sense of composure in life, but everyone gets a little ticked off once in a while. It's difficult to get these people to relate to any of the so-called downsides in life because their overly passive manner makes it seem like they're living a fairy tale. Most of the time, INFJs can sense that these people usually have a hard time processing emotions in front of other people because their persona comes first above all else. Yet, when they are alone, their thoughts can become overwhelmed with emotions that they are hesitant to process. Number 4. People who are only around when it's convenient for them. Friendships aren't easy, and it's not fair to judge someone based on the amount of free time they're able to give. Luckily, INFJs know that firsthand. However, INFJs also notice when a particular person tends to show up only when they're in need of something. Maybe it's just an open ear, a shoulder to cry on, or a serious favor. It's as if the connection goes dormant for long periods of time and then randomly sparks back up when it's most convenient for the other person. It's like they'll ask how you've been, only to follow up with asking if you're available to help them with something. Unfortunately, INFJs can specifically become targets of this type of connection because they're always willing to help and won't force a connection once it's gone inactive. Yet, on the bright side of things, it doesn't take an INFJ long to connect the dots, and once the dots are connected, see ya! Number 5. People who overstep boundaries. So, There's the people that only call when they need a hand, and then there's the people that just can't get enough of the INFJ and what they have to offer. While it may be absolutely harmless, people who show up uninvited, follow them around at work, invite themselves to plans, or expect more than the INFJ is willing to give are all considered red flags to the INFJ. If someone can't recognize the importance of personal space and time, you can bet this introverted type will attempt to distance themselves more and more in hopes that they'll get the social cue. And if it gets bad enough, the INFJ will be brought to a place of needing to use stern communication for the sake of their mental sanity, which can be seriously uncomfortable. Number 6. People who gossip and look down upon others. We're all guilty of it on some level. In fact, talking about other people is a natural human tendency that allows us to learn through other people's positive and negative experiences. However, gossiping about and belittling people almost always comes with ill intent. This type of person usually uses this method to subconsciously divert attention off of themselves and their insecurities and onto other people. They may try to showcase their morals and opinions within the gossip in hope to get a rise out of the opposing audience. For example, if a mother was crying in a grocery store because her child was having a tantrum, this type of person could say something along the lines of, "I hate when parents cry in front of their kids. That mom needs to keep it together." By saying this, they are expecting you to not only agree, but to also praise them for their so-called empathy towards the child, when in reality, they have no idea what it's like to be a mother or to deal with a tantrum. Plus, this type of person won't stop when it comes to people closest to them, so INFJs know that they're probably being talked about to other people as well. Number 7. People who are hot and cold. Smiley and giggly one minute and then dead-faced the next. It's difficult to constantly keep up with this persona, and if an INFJ is around this type of person for long enough, they will easily be able to notice their small breaks in character. Since INFJs long for harmonious relationships and try to avoid people's unpredictable emotions, emotional maturity is a must-have when making new connections. Especially considering their energy-absorbing tendencies, INFJs can actually feel these mood swings within themselves if they stick around for long enough. And although this type of behavior usually stems from extreme insecurity of themselves and their lives, being polite one minute and rude the next doesn't help anyone. In fact, once an INFJ begins to notice when these people finally do crack their characters, even if it's for a brief moment, they'll get a glance of the beast being tamed behind the fake smiles and ingenuine compliments. INFJs can deal with all sorts of emotions from others, but unpredictability will affect them every time. And lastly, number 8. People who lie and cheat. Lying and cheating aren't exactly considered favorable attributes in most people's eyes, but for the INFJ who can sense these shortcomings from a mile away, they tend to be even more annoying. Whether it's a grandiose claim that seems a little too far-fetched or minor fibs, INFJs just can't wrap their heads around trying to portray yourself as someone you're not. Habitual liars may even feel slightly threatened by the INFJ's blunt honesty and ability to pick up on subtle details. However, when INFJs are caught in a conversation where they or someone else are being lied to or manipulated, this personality type can even start to panic because, although they despise deceit, they also try to avoid conflict at all costs, leaving them in a limbo of knowing what action is the appropriate one in the moment. This empathetic personality type prides themselves on being as honest as possible, with a great set of morals to become a positive force in the world, so lying and cheating are especially irritating for an INFJ because they can't relate to the motive behind it. Well, that's it for today's Psychos. Before you go, let us know in the comments below of a time that you came across one of these 8 people and how you cut ties. Also, make sure to leave us a like, share with your friends, and also subscribe to our channel so that you never miss a video.